Good evening to you. I'm Lisa Broom with the CBC Evening News. In our top story tonight, the head of the Barbados Agricultural Society, James Paul, is calling for greater communication within the local farming sector. His comments follow the importation of more than 600,000 eggs to supplement the demand for the Christmas season. Mr. Paul says if farmers are having challenges with their supply, they should at least say something early so measures could be put in place.
You know, Christmas is always a time when it's very difficult to anticipate demand. I think that what we have to examine in the industry is our information gathering sources, and I think stakeholders in the industry as generally need to report issues or problems that they're having on a more timely basis. There's this culture in Barbados where people, instead of trying to be more open and report things to people as they see the problems happening, they tend to hide them, and that does not help us. So I think that really, in respect of the egg shortage in itself, this was an issue which I think was brewing, and we did not recognize it.
Well, pork farmers, however, had a very good season and were able to meet the demand for local fresh pork. Yet, Mr. Paul believes there is scope for the farmers to produce even more.
What we saw during the month of December was an increased amount of pork being supplied. We are still not happy, though, that the level of pork production is back to the levels that it should be. What we saw over a period of 2 years is, and especially last year, we saw that the amount of pork being slaughtered, there was some very dangerous signs where in some months they were declining on that of the previous year. This year, towards the end of the year, there was some improvement, but it is not back up to the levels that we expect them to be.
Well, fire broke out at a house in Haynesville, St. James during the wee hours of this morning. When the smoke cleared, one housing unit occupied by 48-year-old Sinclair Allen was destroyed and 2 other units were damaged. Preliminary investigations revealed that around 10 minutes to 1, neighbors observed smoke coming from the unit occupied by Allen, who was not at home. 2 fire tenders and 4 fire officers under the command of Senior Fire Officer Clarence Holder responded to that blaze. Most city businesses remained closed as Barbadians observed their second consecutive holiday. However, several shops did open, hoping to attract locals making late Christmas purchases, as well as visitors arriving on several cruise ships. Our Sharika Griffith visited the city and filed this report.
Bridgetown was a virtual ghost town, as Barbadians seemingly took the day to relax after all the excitement of Christmas Day. Empty streets and closed doors were the order of the day, which took some who ventured to the city by surprise.
My kids were like, yeah, Mom, let's go town, because we were hoping that stores would be open. Then we just drove through it and it was like ghost town, really. But it's not the same. Usually overseas, we lived in England before, and usually, you know, stores will be open because you get half price on clothes and stuff and what's not. But it is not. I don't know. We can just walk around and just see what was going on.
However, as usual, Cave Shepherd on Broad Street was open. According to store coordinator Mark Clark, both locals and visitors took advantage of the shopping opportunity.
From the time we were open, actually, there were patrons inside, so I guess these are the ones who are still looking for gifts, who didn't get the opportunity to get the gifts at that point in time.
Are you seeing more locals as compared to visitors to the island?
Yes, we are at the present moment, but I know there are ships in port also, so I guess they will be coming through a little later. We did see some French in this morning from the Costa ship that's in port, and I guess as the day goes along, we'll see more of those in store.
CBC caught up with Monica Harewood on the 2nd floor with some friends who had arrived earlier on a cruise ship.
Well, the plans were just to do a quick tour and then to take go down to the West Coast to show them around.
So were you aware that any stores would be open in town?
Not at all. I thought everything was closed.
Several clothing stores on Robert Street also made the decision to open. But according to the owner of Envy Boutique, things were pretty slow. What time did you open?
Open from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. today.
And how have things been so far?
Well, gotten a couple people just walking by, asking for buying stuff, children's stuff, not ladies as yet, so just hoping for some people to come in.
Dozens of tourists were seen walking through the city. However, Many were there mainly to explore the capital, as they were aware that the country was observing a bank holiday.
Well, this is our first day out, so we've not actually been to the shops yet. We only arrived on Saturday evening, so.
And what did you come to the city hoping to get done today?
Just to have a look, just to see what it's like and just to see what the atmosphere is like, really.
And so, were you aware then that the stores would have been closed and you wouldn't have gone?
Yes, yeah, we were aware, yeah.
I wanted to walk around, get some exercise, get some fresh air, take some photographs.
Were you aware that it's a bank holiday in Barbados, so most of the stores in the city would be closed?
Yes, I was.
By 3 in the afternoon, most stores were closed. However, they are expected to return to regular opening hours tomorrow. Sharika Griffith, CBC News.
Thanks very much, Sharika. Well, after managing to overcome a bout of illness during this past year, humanitarian Sharon Bellamy Thompson was again able to spread her usual Christmas cheer to hundreds of Barbadian children. The organizer of the annual Fun Day events held one of the biggest ever today at Queen's Park, featuring a number of children's tents and rides, including water slides. Santa Claus and other characters were also on hand to thrill the children as part of the Fun Day. Well, today's event embraced more than 150 children from the Child Care Board's homes, 100 more from special needs schools, and more than 100 others from various communities across the island.
Today's event is called Kids This One Is For You 2018. This is an event that is hosted every year, but this one is extra special this year because they didn't get anything this year because I do like 4 activities a year. But I took ill in March and nothing was able to be done. So I decided to make this one much bigger and much better. And with the help of so many great supporters.
And sports news is coming up next on the CBC Evening News, so stay tuned.